Hey everyone, guess what? We do not have ugly swag. We have spaced out radio gear that you're going to want to wear. Why? Because no one wants to wear ugly clothing. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com and go shopping today. You'll be glad you did. And it's a great way to support our show. Once you get your gear, send us a picture of you rocking out in your SOR swag. spacedoutradio.com, shop there today, and make yourself look good.
Are y'all ready to head off the trails? I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you to Off the Trails right here on the Spaced Out Radio channel's YouTube channel. Hey, everybody. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media. I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. Follow us at Spaced Out Radio on all of our social media sites except for Instagram, and that's Spaced Out Radio Show. You guys can find me at thecryptidhuntress.com. Please go over there, find all of my shows on my channel. I do have a YouTube channel. That's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm over there live all throughout the week, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights. So please come see me there. If you guys would like to support our work here at Spaced Out Radio, please join the Space Travelers Club. That's our Patreon. We would love to have you guys there. And yes, y'all saw a commercial. We've got merch. Okay, we've got merch for Spaced Out Radio. Go to the website, that's spacedoutradio.com, to find all your merch. There may be some Cryptid Huntress merch there. I don't know. I didn't see any the last time I looked, but maybe they've added some since then. So, you guys, we have a fabulous guest here tonight. We have Barry Littleton here in the studio. Y'all know Barry's like my sidekick. Okay, we do a lot of shows together. We do a lot of research together, and we are slowly unraveling the mysteries of the world together. Okay, he and I. And tonight is no different. We're going to be looking into devil monkeys, dogmen, and the giant baboons. Okay, so go get your popcorn. Don't forget that right after this show, After Hours and Mr. Rob G have a great show lined up for us. So you guys head on over there as soon as the show's over here tonight. All right, let's get to our guest. Barry Littleton was born awake with fragmented past life memories. He began having paranormal experiences at a young age. These experiences included telepathic awareness, seeing and feeling ghosts, and various inorganic beings. These encounters and some of the entities themselves had a distinct extraterrestrial origin that led him into a lifetime of research and exploration into the metaphysical and the paranormal fields. You guys can find him on his YouTube channel and his Patreon. It is Barry Littleton. Just type in Barry Littleton. You will find him there. He also has a website, barrylittleton.com. Please help me welcome to the show tonight my good friend, Barry Littleton. Hey, Barry.
Hey, what's happening, Jessica?
Hey,
thanks for having me, and hello to the audience. And this one caught me by surprise, so it should be fun,
Oh man, well, I did ask you to be my guest tonight because I have some questions, and I really wanted to dive deep into this subject of dogmen versus monkey devils or devil monkeys versus large baboons, because this is coming up a lot in my research. Also, I'm doing a bi-weekly show with the North American Dogman Project now with Kenny Thibodeau, aka Star Fox, and he's been sending me information on the possibility of dogmen being misidentified as a large baboon or being a large baboon. So I wanted to get your opinion on all of this tonight, because I know you've already done some research on it, and I figured we'd talk about it.
That's cool. That's what I like doing these with you, because you always like to breach things that most people don't talk about. You know what I mean? I've talked about devil monkeys for a while, but you don't hear about them a whole lot. And it's cool. It's always different topics. And I think that's what's needed right now is things that aren't cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Different information, because there's so much stuff going on that we need to be more apprised or kept more abreast.
It's more abreast. I like that. Well, that's like our theme. Like, we are not cookie cutter. Okay. That's the theme here. Is not being cookie cutter, because we're, I like to look into the more abstract side of stuff, not just talk about dogmen and dogman sightings and werewolf sightings and the difference between dogman and werewolves and stuff. It's kind of like, man, we've been there, we've done that. Let's get into like baboons. Okay, let's get into these devil monkeys and stuff. Like, I've never even talked about devil monkeys on my show before, I don't think. Okay.
The thing with the kind of this starts getting blurred a little bit is that, when you get the dogmen versus the type 3 Sasquatch, which is the ones that have the muzzle, like the 7 shoots photo, that being is carrying the poodle or whatever. Yeah, thank you. Oh, you're on it. Yeah, that one is supposed to be a type 3 Sasquatch, and it does look more like a baboon opposed to being a dogman. But my understanding is a lot of times there's confusion because of the muzzle itself. And, the type 3 Sasquatch are reported to be very, very territorial and vicious, sometimes cannibalistic too. So it's something going on there. They're not the ones that are more favored. And when you start getting into things like the famous swamp ape photo that started the whole thing with swamp ape, the whole thing of it in the garden, there's a couple pictures of it. That looks very much more baboon-like. And when you start getting in, what's that?
It looks like an orangutan. Kind of like an orangutan, kind of.
Yeah, more orangutan. You're right. I guess they corrected. You're right. But
I was going to pull that up, and then I was like, well, it's not really like a the type of ape, like a baboon. It looked more like an orangutan, because I was thinking that too, actually. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're right about that, actually. But these where was I? When you start looking historically at the fossil record, when dealing with ancient baboons, you have that was the Diopithecus, which was actually a giant baboon. And when I started looking into actually what's the devil monkey, excuse me, that sounds a lot more like what they were to me and what they're being described as. Now, something about the devil monkeys that stands them different is that they're often reported to have the one. I'm not sure about average baboon, but they don't have 3 toes, do they? The devil monkey prints always have three toes, and they also have self-illuminating red eyes. That's something that seems to stand out. Anything that has the self-illuminating, not just eye shine, but the self-illuminating red eyes, I'm very, 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 very suspect, as your son says, sus of. But
He does.
anyway, so that's something to do. And you know, when looking at these devil monkeys too, to me, they look a lot like mandrills also. And when you start dealing with the primates, the mandrills are kind of terrifying a little bit. You know, they take down lions. They jump on lions' backs and take them down. Yeah, they're known for that. And they're very aggressive. And as a matter of fact, and when, you know, just touching on that, since we go down the rabbit hole, it brings to mind one of those one of those videos by Thinker Thunker, the one where he goes over. It's entitled, those who want to look it up, The Great Outdoors. It's where he catches there's one of these. It's not National Geographic, but it's a documentary like that. And you've got the Sasquatch that's coming up chasing the caribou. And when he analyzes it more, there's like several of them. Like they're actually the one that's chasing is hurting him to the ones that are hiding up there. And that's really a good one. And then he points something out on there, which is as this Sasquatch is chasing in behind these caribou, you see something bounce out of the trees and jump on its back. That's what those babies do. And that's what mandrills do to lions. It's just food for thought. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff to think of, you know?
Yeah. Well, I had never even thought about dogmen being misidentified as baboons or maybe even being baboons until I had people that were leaving that in the comment section under some of my videos that I was doing on dogmen. So that was the first time I'd even thought about that. And then Kenny with the NADP told me the same thing. And he has his own theories on it as well. So if anybody would know about this and could have a really good discussion on it, I knew it'd be you, Barry.
Well, you know, for a long time, I kind of overlooked the devil monkey thing because I was getting it confused and thought it was the same as orang pendek, which is seen in South America. But you know, orang pendek somewhat fits a similar description. You know, walks with its arms up, hands up. I'm not sure about this, how much of a snout it has, but just I was getting confused. So I thought when people were referring to devil monkeys, they're referring to orang pendek, but I was wrong. That was years ago now. But yeah, you're right. It looks more like an orangutan. Yeah, but
it looks kind of more like an orangutan. And this, I mean, there's the mandrill, and here's the beast of seven shoots. Okay, which it looks like has a long snout. Looks very gorilla-like, actually. But with a long nose, but here I mean, these baboons are pretty ferocious looking, Barry. I mean, look at those teeth.
Yeah, they sure are, and so are the mandrills. The mandrills, they're very ferocious looking, and they're not, you know, they're not your very kind King Kong type of. they're more aggressive with the primates, I do believe. You know, and yeah. So
well, you
anyway,
can see how it would look like a dog.
And when looking at the going back to the devil monkey real quick, Jessica, something else. Most of the reports I read about them, I did a video on the devil monkey that I couldn't watch it even because I just got back from Australia. It was so little, I lost all that weight. But it's been reported a lot to be bulletproof, okay? And a lot of the stories I had read and heard were just about these things being bulletproof. A lot of people taking shots at them and then being impervious to bullets beyond what, you know, even but beyond normal. It'd be hard to take down any animal, I think, with a lot of guns, but this is unreal. Like they're totally impervious. That intrigues me. I recently, today I posted something that I didn't think that I actually got a few responses, say weird stuff sometimes, but it's a picture of a Sasquatch that's combined with the half face of a Terminator, like the endoskeleton of a Terminator, and the other side of it's a Sasquatch, and the red eye and stuff. Oh, you got it? Okay, right on. Yeah. You know, so people say, I'm creeped out by that. I got a few comments that were weird, but I'll tell you what, I think that's not really the nearly BS thing that it appears to be, okay? And in terms of when dealing with the Gugwe and the Janoska and how they're reported to have these self-illuminating eyes, you know, I'm very suspect when we start talking about and we start hearing about these military things there's a lot of that's coming out even more now, military whistleblowers, unquote, they're talking about these things being released and training grounds that people are seeing that these things are being trained at, some type of odd lone Sasquatch type being. But I think that, when you start looking at things like I was watching today, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, and they had the one on there where the Terminator he came through the vortex, but his head got blown off and his body, so it deactivated. But then some guy grabbed the head in the junkyard and it reactivated the body. The body came and got the head, and then went to the blood bank and got a bunch of blood and different hemoglobins and stuff, and then took it to the scientist and made him actually make it a bloodbath for him so he could get another skin, and filled in. Actually, you look at it, I mentioned this before, you look at the actual equations on the board, it's like the equations for this, they're very quite real. They're talking about using oxygen instead of certain things to make the blood move. It's really a trip. And he gave him a new blood, like gave him a new skin. He got in the bottom, the metal, he came up with that. And you look at it, but the eyes are still self-illuminated. I don't think it's so far out, that picture there. I'm not saying it's for sure the thing, but I've long maintained that the Gugwe and then popped out and started coming around. When you start hearing about Paris, Texas, and some of these other habituations for the Sasquatch that are more type 1, patty-like, that you can do trades with and little things that you can work with them a little, are being pushed out of these areas of the habitations by Gugwe. And finally being seen more than one Gugwe. You know what I mean? I think, to me, that looks like some sort of a invasion, a deal to change the way they're perceived. Something's going on. And it's dark, whatever it is.
It is.
So I'll shut up there. I'm talking too much.
Thank you, Cosmic Joe Chronicles, for that super sticker. We appreciate you. What Sinbad movie had a giant baboon? I don't even know. I have no idea.
It was... Man, it was the one with... I want to say, God, it's one of the last ones, actually, because it's got the metal cat in it too, the Minotaur. The woman's going Minotaur. Yeah, and they killed that baboon, I do believe. And anyway,
interesting.
Over the 7 seas, it might be. I don't know, but it's the same guy that played on Star Trek. He played Lazarus from that got locked in between the dimensions. The universe is coming together, and the portal in between, they were battling each other. Dude from Sinbad.
That sounds fun.
Anyway, and Tom Baker, the 7th Doctor Who or 4th Doctor Who, played Sinbad too. Was in Sinbad, that guy. That movie, I believe, maybe. Anyway.
Well, okay, so I was actually on a podcast on Friday night with the West Coast Dogman Project. Shout out to Shane, Michael Crisp, and Todd. Okay, so I had a great time talking with them. We were talking about, me being a Bigfoot researcher and us having the Bigfoots out there, but yet now we're getting an uptick in Dogman reports, okay, which is unusual because there's more Dogman sightings. We were trying to figure out why, what it is. And I did bring up the whole collective consciousness thing that you and I had talked about, where potentially it's like the collective consciousness is aware of it and we are manifesting them somehow, potentially. It's just food for thought, like you say. Okay. But when we're trying to figure out why are we having an upswing in these kind of sightings, and in places where, like, I had a pretty intense Bigfoot encounter last year with my friend Robbie, who went up to one of my research areas with me one weekend. We had Bigfoot surrounding us. Well, this year it felt different. Okay, we had stuff out there, but he's convinced it was Dogmen. Okay, I don't know if it was. I'm not sure if it was Dogmen or if it was, and it could have been. There was something there because we saw it, but we just couldn't make out what it was. It was either very stealthy Bigfoots with a bad attitude, or it could have been Dogmen. Okay, but if they were Dogmen that were surrounding us that night, why were they there in place of the Bigfoots that I'm used to? You know what I mean? Like, that's just odd. It's kind of lending credibility to, like, what you're saying about there's other things that are kind of taking over now. Okay, they're like wiping out the good things and they're bringing in the bad stuff, like the bad energy or something. I don't know.
Things get so convoluted when we start hearing things and they get to mainstream. But when I first started hearing about Dogman, like the guy you met, Vic Cundiff. He's one of the first people talking about that. When I first started hearing about it, there was I don't know. Well,
You can't think.
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. You know what I mean? When I first started actually hearing about Dogman, it was separate. You know what I mean? It wasn't as convoluted as it is now. As far as anyway, you were saying something. I interrupted you, so
No, you're right. No, I don't. There's just a lot. There's a lot of categories. There's a lot of differentiation. But from a researcher standpoint, we're either seeing Bigfoot or Dogman. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. It's either Bigfoot or Dogman. We're not out there like, oh, let's classify this as a Gugway, or let's classify. It is what it is. When you're out there and you actually encounter something, it's just a Dogman or a Bigfoot, in my opinion. Okay, but then we get technical when we sit back and we're watching it from afar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you mean? Did I put that in nice terms?
Absolutely. The thought that I lost was that when I first started hearing about the Dogmen and everything, that they weren't actually attacked. Them and Sasquatch. The first reports I was hearing was always, and some of them were from Native American tribes, were saying that there was like a problem that when the Dogmen were in the area, the Sasquatch would leave, and vice versa, that they didn't really habit the same thing. But there's things at the same area, and that sometimes some Sasquatch would warn people about Dogmen in the area. I'd heard that several times, but then all of a sudden things get convoluted, and now you're hearing that they're working together, that the Sasquatch have the Dogmen enslaved, and all this stuff. It starts getting really, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's what I meant to say.
It makes for good podcast, okay, and it makes for good stories, okay. It does, but it just depends on whether you believe those stories or the people are being truthful, or if they really happen. I don't know. It just depends. Okay. However, okay, when you're in the moment and you're in the thick of it, we're not categorizing what's what. It's either a Dogman or a Bigfoot, and that's just coming from me. Okay, that's what I would do. But yeah, I mean, but it's good to have all these charts. I mean, I have this chart right here. We can pull this up. Okay, and T-Bone, thank you for that super sticker. That is so sweet of you. We appreciate you here at Space Out Radio. This is the chart of the Bigfoot. Okay, and as you guys can see, Barry, the type, it's the type 3 is what we usually say are the Gugway, right? With the long snout.
Yeah. Supposedly, yeah.
That looks more baboonish. Okay, and those are the ones that could get confused for Dogmen. Okay, they could. Now with the devil monkeys, Barry, from what I've read, that I've never come across a devil monkey before, but they're smaller, right? I from what I've been told, they were smaller. Okay, they're only like 3 to 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall at the most. Okay, and let's see, I've got some pictures. They look kind of scary.
When looking at Dinopithecus, the ancient baboon, the giant one, it was about 120 pounds, around that, and it fits somewhat the description of the size of the devil monkey. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were saying something. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I have some eyewitness reports of what people consider to be devil monkeys. I've got one here from Georgia, okay, where I live. I've got another from Chicago. Okay, and I know these things are seen all over the place, but the way they were described, like one person was claiming that back in 2006, they came home to having something inside their house attacking their Labrador, their dog. They said that it was a devil-like creature violently attacking their 6-year-old Labrador dog. They described it as a combination of a monkey, a wolf, and a devil with long fangs, a monkey-like tail, and extremely bright glowing eyes. It said it had unnaturally glowing eyes, and they were orange. Okay, they were orange. But the running theme, though, from the things that I could find, the eyewitness reports, it looks like a mix between a monkey and a wolf, which sounds like a Dogman, kind of, if you ask me.
Which type of Dogman more fits that category? I can't remember.
Oh, let's look. We have a chart for that too. Oh man, I guess.
See, there you have it. The type 3 variant 3. That's the one with the muzzle too. That they're confusing between the Sasquatch type 3 and the Dogman type 3 variant 3. I'm glad you brought that up. And you see how similar they look? That one looks to the one on the other chart. It's quite similar. You know, it's kind of like I had brought up. I don't want to take us off topic, but I had put up something on Facebook a couple of days ago. It was a picture of a Sasquatch that was seen walking across the road in 1970 in Southern California, and it looks very human. It's one of these type 4s, and then you've got another picture. I compared it with the one of that guy that passed away a few years ago, Mike Woolley. Mike Woody, Wulley, and he's on. I said, "On my deer stand," that guy. But you know, when he got some two really good pictures of the Sasquatch he saw, and it looks Native American too, just like the one crossing the road, and also except his teeth were a little big, but he's got a face on it. They look quite similar to me, and I think those are different type 4 that's dealing with some type of different mitochondrial DNA from another human than just Mediterranean, you know, someone that maybe perhaps was Native American or something of that nature. I think that's fascinating. We need to really take that stuff serious and look at it maybe a little deeper. Who knows how many different hybrid offsprings there are? When you start hearing things about some of those old time kidnapped women, you know, how far does that go? You know, we know they're not all Forest brothers. They're just like us. They apparently run the gamut. Now you've got different species that run the gamut. So that makes it just more.
Yeah, you have different. I mean, and we got this stuff right here, this potential like AI robot Bigfoot too, huh? Which is odd, you know. Okay, so that actually kind of is going to have me circle back to one of my experiences out in the field. Okay, because we were out in what I call the UFO field now. It wasn't the UFO field before this night. And we had an incident where like the team was out in the middle of the field and me and my buddy were like hiding in the wood line and nobody knew where we were. But the team saw these red lights, these two like red lights. They looked like they were flashlights or some kind of IR light. It was brighter than an IR light, like from a night vision camera. Okay. And so they thought it was us. There were two red lights, is what they said. I did not see them. My buddy did not see them. And we were sitting about 10 feet from where those red lights were. But this was exactly where the Bigfoot had been the night before. Okay. Where there had been a Bigfoot in that exact location where those red lights were. So wow. I mean, could that have been? I mean, we never saw a Bigfoot, but we did have some ET possible. We did have some definite UFO activity, maybe some ET activity. We kind of just brushed it off as like, that was ET. Okay. It had to have been something to do with ET. But I don't know. If we got like a Terminator Bigfoot out there, it could have been something like that. I don't know.
I mean, I know I'm probably gonna get booed out of the chat room, but I'm telling you, I've been picking up that a long time. That these species of them, that some of them are like cyborg-like, and I mean, and I'm sorry, people, it does bring the Terminator up, but that's the only reference we really have for something like that when it comes to real cyborgs. Something like that, a metal skeleton covered by the front, but surrounded by living tissue, as Reese said. How they come to the portal? The time device. If it's metal, surrounded by living tissue, you know. But I mean, seriously, and what better way to launch an attack on a species that will never wants to deal with humanity anyway, and to paint all types of Sasquatch as negative, you know? And I think, and most of the pictures, most of the descriptions of the Gugwe, they all seem to have glowing eyes.
They do.
The other types don't. The patty type don't. The Neanderthal type don't. The others don't seem, they're not reported to have these glowing eyes. Just regular eye shine like we would have as people. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm thinking about like, there's one Gugwe that you and I looked into, and I think it was a Gugwe because that was in my remote viewing data, but it had green eyes. Remember old green eyes?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was, but that thing is actually still seen to this day up in Chickamauga, at the Georgia-Tennessee border up in North Georgia. Okay, this is something that wreaks havoc on that area up there, and was seen eating the dead corpses of the Civil War soldiers up there during the battle and after it. So, and some say it is a Gugway. I think that's what we determined. But
I would almost lean to the Dennis Carroll thing that some of these things are summoned in a battlefield, especially by not just the blood, but by dark force and manifested. And some of those are something like that. You know what I mean? Is that what that was? And these things that you have these, for lack of a better word, demon, negative entities, negative inorganic beings that come here and assume a form, get enough to manifest. What do they begin looking like? And what things do they do? I mean, that's prime to that, to me. And it's terrifying. And sorry, but it pretty much sucks. But it is what it is,
Well, we are living in the age of AI, right? And this has been around a lot longer than we know. Okay, I think that some of our world leaders might be robots at this point. I'm not kidding. It's just the world we're living in, y'all. I don't know, Barry.
Yeah.
What a weird simulation.
That's a very interesting statement right there you just put up. And it takes us down another route, that is the fact that you've got things like Elon Musk is doing that Neuralink. And right now I'm trying to put a video together if I can get it completed, which is about actually the hacking of dreams and dream simulation, and how they actually are doing something that they are capable of doing, something called targeted directed dreaming. Okay. And that is a way to actually make dreams into memories and those memories into reality. Okay. Whole nother thing going on with not just using things like apps to coerce people. This is much more than that, so when I get very suspect when I start hearing people saying, oh, I was in this alternate reality doing this. I was a super soldier in this alternate reality, and such was here with me too. And I remember that too. Well, hey, that's not by any chance a hive mind that's being generated by something like this gentleman just put up here. You know what I'm saying? It's very much food for thought. And when we start dealing with people are having these experiences that are like that, these hive mind type of thing, I'm not trying to take away from the validity of it. I'm just saying it's another part of this infiltration and the rewriting of the contactee narrative we have to be aware of, straight up. Because not all of us are having experiences like that. And for most of us, for you, for me, that you have contact experiences. I talk about it now, it sounds cool and all chronological. It wasn't like that when it happened. It was fragmented. You start missing time and you're in front of some of these beings. You can remember them when you're interacting with them. Then when you're not, they're turned and they're gone. You're like, what? I was just interacting with something, and what the information's still there, but it starts getting worse from the event horizon. So I'm just touching on this because that was heavy what they just put up there. And I'm sorry, let's go back to Gugway and self-illuminating eyes.
No, but there are actual people who are volunteering to put these Neuralinks in their brains and stuff, like being controlled by. I don't get it. I'm like so uncontrollable when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm out of control, not easily controlled. And I don't like people telling me what to do. God forbid you could try to put a chip in my brain. I'll fight it, man. I will fight it. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Hold on.
When Critical says that things that have been done would turn the world on its head. Yeah, there's probably a whole lot of stuff we don't know about Cryptoville, obviously. There's got to be, right?
Real quick, one last thing on the dream hacking, because the people don't think I'm just talking conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy brother, not really, okay? I like science and things to back up, and I try to look at the transparency and things before I just mention it. But when I talk about this hacking of the dream and controlling dream, the transparency company that's showing it, it's called Dormio, Dormio. Check them out, folks. They have something that have these goggles or these goggles you can put on that helps you that will actually train your dreams and manipulate your dreams. And also they have these wrist watches have some type of a chip in it that does the same thing. Check that company out, Dormio, Dormio. Sorry, Jessica, go back to what we were talking about.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I was actually going to kind of change the subject. I was going to say flip it. I was going to flip it a little bit because this is a cool comment here from Corey Cole. What's up, Corey? People have reported seeing flying monkeys in Napa Valley, Texas, and Mexico called the rebob. Creepy name as well. Okay. I know of people who have flying monkeys, okay, in a figurative sense. And we've seen the flying monkeys on the Wizard of Oz, okay, but flying monkeys, have you heard of the real flying monkeys, Barry?
Hey, I got to be honest, you're out of my league on this one. I've not even heard of this before. I heard of flying squirrels, but the only flying monkeys I remember was like there was like a group called that. What, the monkeys, or what is
the monkeys? The flying monkeys, though. I mean, we've got this. I mean, we got this little devil monkey's flying through the air, but that's interesting. That's something to look into, though. Okay, so this is something. It's food for thought. And so, Corey, thank you for that comment.
I mean, well. Okay, well, I take that back. There are those are the squirrel monkeys that do those incredible jumps from tree to tree. You know what I'm talking about? It's like squirrel monkeys are one of them and they don't call them flying monkeys, but they jump like unreal distances from tree to tree. And they're smaller monkeys, though. That's why I say squirrel monkeys. They're smaller, though. So that's, maybe that's what they're describing. Because otherwise, I mean, what is this? Something that has, I would like to know more. Is this a primate that has wings, or what is it, like the bat squatch? Not that again. Oh, bat squatch.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Flying monkeys. Oh my. Okay. Yes. T-Bone, thank you so much for that super sticker. We appreciate that. Capped, congrats on making it to the cups. Okay. Somebody, hockey, is that a hockey team? I don't even know. So somebody's won a game, y'all. So yes, T-Bone, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I hope it doesn't go against Dave Scott's team. He was really pulling for somebody. I forgot. Maybe in the Oilers. I don't know. If that's what you're talking about. I'm so out of the loop with sports right now.
This is going over my head. I don't know.
I know, me too, right? Me too. Thank you, T-Bone. We appreciate that. But okay, so flying monkeys. Okay, so we have so much, like my brain is like racing right now because we have so many new things. We have so many new things to worry about now when I go out in the woods. Okay. The last thing, I mean, we're already told to look up. Okay, we're told to look up because of the Dogmen, but now flying monkeys. What the heck? What the heck? I know. I love the way you laugh.
I never heard of that. I'll look it up. That's interesting.
Oh, the Washington Capitals. There we go. Thank you, Harold Denton. What's up, buddy? Oh my God. All right. Well, let's talk about some more of these devil monkey reports too, because we had one in Georgia back in 1979. There was a report of a bipedal-like critter. They called it the Belt Road Booger. Now, I have never heard of this, Barry. This is the first time I'd ever heard of it, but it came from rural Georgia. Okay, this lady, listen to how she described it. It was the ugliest looking thing I'd ever seen. It had a tail like a beaver's, but it was bushy, and it had a face like a dog. A face like a dog, which is interesting. So there's actually a picture. I don't think I pulled it up because I don't want to show a dead animal on Spaced Out Radio. Okay, I'm sorry. I just don't, because I don't want to get Dave's channel in trouble. Okay, showing dead animals and stuff. But there's like a picture of this deceased dog. And I call it a dog because I think it's a dog. Okay, but when you look up devil monkeys, this picture comes up, and it's like this huge, it's like a little compacted, bushy looking dog that's laying on the side of the road. I swear it's a dog. Okay. Or maybe it's a devil monkey. Okay. So if you guys want to go look up devil monkeys, there's pictures going to come up probably of a bushy, what looks like a dog on the side of the road. It didn't look like it had like long fangs or anything though. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe some of these things are just getting misidentified. Maybe it's like a chow that needs to be brushed. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, wouldn't it be a little difficult to kind of misidentify that if you see something that looks like a mandrill in the road or something, you're not going to know that, hey, that's not a, I don't know. That's just me.
Seriously.
I mean, but
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that also. I'm saying that as well. So yeah, those teeth though. And okay, so let's just hit on that idea or the idea that some of these people that are getting attacked and fatally attacked by misidentified animals. Okay. I have looked into several of those reports through remote viewing. I have found that some of them could very potentially have been a dogman. Others are big cats. Okay, well, let's throw this into the mix. Okay, something like this, like a large baboon. I mean, instead of this being, a dog man, maybe these are baboons running around. Now, you don't think so?
No, I have a question actually, because when the research I did, I never saw any reports of anyone being attacked by one of these devil monkeys. Did you?
I had a report of a dog being attacked by one, but not
Really?
a person. Yeah.
Did it kill it?
A dog. No, it did not kill it. It did not die. It was injured, I'm sure, but they didn't say that it had passed away. No, but it was violently attacking it. I'm wondering how it got in the house. Okay. The baboons, actually, Kenny Star Fox from the NADP that I do shows with every 2 weeks, he sent me a video of baboons. I think it was probably out of Africa, I'm going to assume. There's a video of them breaking into people's homes and going through all of their cabinets and pulling out food out of their fridges and wreaking havoc. So they can't.
Thank you. Remember, they're the higher and more intelligent of the species. I mean, I was watching a bear open up doors the other day on YouTube. Cat sitting there just going through people's everything. He opened the door and left. Yeah, I mean, he didn't even break through it. So, I mean, if they're capable of that, you can only imagine what these beings are capable of when they're even more primate-like. They're primates,
But look at this bear.
I don't like that. That's a bad picture there. I wouldn't want to see that coming at you. I mean, that you gotta have, when you think about getting attacked by any animal, let alone one like that could bring down an ant. It's not the baboons that I read that bring down lions. It was the mandrills I read that about. But maybe baboons might do it too. It's worth looking up.
I mean, doesn't that look like a werewolf? Or it could be, people could think that was a werewolf or a dog man if they saw that. I could.
Yeah.
Not knowing.
It looks a little Werewolf of London like, American Werewolf like. Yeah. You think about. I noticed you mentioned several times. A lot of people getting killed by big cats. And, that's something to think about because in reality, us as people, let just a house cat really go off on you and try to get you and start going off and jumping on you and scratching. You really got your hands full. And we're people against the house cat,
Yeah.
And it brings something else. Thinking of something else. So what is it that was holding? It's a Gilgamesh that's holding the lion in the headlock.
Yeah. The Sumerian
tells you about what size he was. We can hold a cat like that, let alone a lion. That tells you about what his size was and strength was, doesn't it?
Yeah. We're like ants compared to the giants that lived here once. We really are. Gosh, that's just a whole other rabbit hole. I am seeing so much more. People are becoming so much more awake now. I'm so happy to our history that's been hidden from us and stuff when it comes to giants. So go ahead.
When dealing with the Sasquatch or Sasquatch type beings, quote unquote, people don't really talk about Lord Hanuman, who was the Hindu god. He was the giant. He was purported to be more of a monkey type being, though. But there are all those giant footprints. They're saying he was jumping from mountaintop to mountaintop, and he comes along with that era of including those blacks from those melanin dominant beings from the Triangulum galaxy. In a way, he talks about they were all reported to be 25 feet tall. You know what I mean? And those type of beings that size that were here in the past cycle on Earth. So, it's food for thought. And when you start thinking about these different type of, there's, I believe in India also, there's these creatures called the Vanara. And the Vanara are like Sasquatch kind of type, but they're supposed to have tails too, monkey-like. And it says that they're seen sometimes doing ceremonies around these large footprints of Lord Hanuman. Again, this is, I like checking out other cultures sometimes and what they're saying. So,
there's like an AI version of Lord Hanuman right there. He actually looks pretty badass in that picture. Okay.
There's some pretty interesting statues of him made also. And
There
those
are.
footprints there several of those giant footprints. I think that's just really stuff we need to think about. And really what has
Yeah.
happened here and what is the blueprint of these beings? Like we're the Adam Kadmon. I said that before. What's the blueprint for the Sasquatch? And then you start getting these underground laboratories like you've remote viewed and seen inadvertently when I've given you blind targets. How much of this, like something like the devil monkey, is coming from that? Or is it interdimensional? Why is it bulletproof?
Yeah.
All the reports I read said they were bulletproof.
Really?
So anybody that fired on them, yeah.
Hmm.
And you hear that about some Sasquatch. You hear some Sasquatch get taken out by bullets. We hear both things, but with these devil monkeys, most of the reports I saw were they were impervious to bullets.
Huh. Well, I
And
mean,
every one of them was self-illuminating. I always read red eyes, so it's just concerning. Oh, Lord Hanneman, right on.
there's another Hanneman right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, are these maybe that makes them into cyborg. Maybe they could be cyborgs, like you were saying. I mean, it does bring that into the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, when you start dealing with that kind of technology from these other civilizations, and even just what's on Earth presently and before, and it's such a mistake to think that ancient man was just these rolling wheels and square wheels and all that, when really there was every sign in ancient Earth of being gravity modification technology, excuse me, that converts energy into matter and matter back into energy. Those are real devices of initiation that once existed here,
Oh yeah,
and
Victor
some
has
of
a
us
very
that have had contact experiences have seen stuff like that. It does exist.
it does. Victor has an interesting comment or magnetic field to make the bullets bounce off. Some kind of magnetic field around it. What do you
It
think
could be
about that,
possible.
Barry?
It could be possible, some type of a force field, and I mean, it doesn't mean it looks like the way it would look on TV. It's a little layer that they see. How close would that have to be to the skin? Who knows? Or even something, excuse me, similar to what's the gentleman, Jonathan Reed, the guy that said that he had that alien was extraterrestrial was killing his dog when he was on a hike or something on a walk, and he beat it with some sort of a tree branch and thought he killed it when it was attacking his dog. And then later on, and he said that when he took this thing, he put it in a cooler. He took all these pictures of it. Jonathan Reed was the guy's name. I think he's on Facebook even. Anyway, but he said that when he would pull this thing had on this. He's got pictures of this thing, this black outfit. This looks like a leotard almost. But he said when he pulled it and cut it, it immediately sealed back up. It was so that's repelling technology. He claimed that the government took that being, and then later on, the being's communicating with him telepathically because it wasn't dead; it was in stasis, and it apologized to him, saying that I wasn't trying to kill your dog, but my suit is self-defensive, and it thought it was a threat, so it started killing it. Yeah.
Oh, I know this very well. I've actually been looking into this story lately. I don't know how, that is so weird that you brought this up. I didn't know that was his name. Okay, and for the audience, you guys are going to probably recognize this. It's the alien.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
right? Am I right?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was this alien. Like he took an alien, he put it in a what is that? It's like an emergency blanket. Like
Yeah. And then
metal
put it in his
blanket.
cooler.
And put it in his cooler.
And he said a few days later it came back to life. It was in some sort of a stasis healing up. And when it came back, it was telepathically communicating with him. And that's when the government came and took it, or somebody came and took it.
Oh my God.
And did you happen to get a picture of what he said the ship was?
No, but I'll look. Hold on. We'll see. I'll go back.
Talk about portals. We'll talk about portals.
Okay. Want to talk about portals? Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, when that ship, and that's another thing. It was a ship that alerted him to the being. Yeah, and that ship to me looks like definitely a portal ship, a dimensional ship.
Okay, I think this is it. I'm about to pull it up.
And
okay.
It reminds me of the obelisk, an obelisk type of thing. There you go. Okay. Look at that. That is a void into another dimension or another universe is what that is. I think opposed to just being a ship. and he had mentioned some things about it seeming to be levitating.
Okay.
That is all, of course, if this story is true. I'm just saying. I try to evaluate it.
Well,
with
didn't he have a video?
skepticism.
I think he had a video too. It's not just pictures. It sounds like he had a video, and this thing was
He's got a
moving.
video. It's yes. But he's perfect. I mean, it would be. I mean, who's to say? I mean, I always kind of thought it was real. I don't have any reason to be skeptic. And what really kind of just caught my attention is what he said about the self-repairing and self-defensive suit that this thing had on, and what it was saying. That I know is somewhat true. I have sketches that I have of one of the Andromedan beings I encountered, these little blue individuals, and they had on these blue suits that look like racing suits to me. And I'm being communicated that the lines that we call racing stripes were actually similar to a type of fiber optics that have kept them in symbiotic connection with the craft, the organic craft.
Okay.
So that would be what we call metamaterials that they're wearing, advanced metamaterials. So
That would be a great.
I'm going to tell you what I've experienced there. So.
Okay. No. Okay, Barry. That would be a great remote viewing target in the future. I'm just saying. What a great target.
The ship or the creature.
Both. I'm thinking the creature. I'm all about the creatures.
That creature basically told him it was a botanist. It was collecting flowers when it got attacked by the dog. And, just food for thought again, when people think about E.T. and really the E.T. movie, everybody, E.T. was a kid like Elliot. No, he wasn't. He was a botanist. He was a florist of some type. He was collecting specimens when he got left.
Okay, that's kind of like Wally. You know that cartoon? Okay, there's a cartoon called Wally, and Wally is like a recycled trash collector kind of thing. And then his girlfriend Eve, is it Eva or Eve? She comes down and she's looking for plant life. Okay, so she's just looking for plant life, basically. I can't say she's a botanist robot, okay, but she's looking for plants, and that's why she comes here. Interesting connections there.
Even more interesting. Do you know what E.T.'s planet was like?
No.
It's fungi. There's some sort of one of the Disneylands.
Of course it was.
They used to have some sort of a room that was supposed to be E.T.'s planet. It's like a planet of fungi and mushrooms. So they were here collecting some type of fungi. And everybody knows that really listens to what I've been saying since 2014 coming out about mycelium metamaterials and these craft, what they're made of, component-wise composition. Been talking about that for a very long time. There's a definite fungal and mycelium component to these craft, and also we start dealing with intergalactic intelligence. Some of the things that like Terrence McKenna and Sheldrake were saying weren't so far off when talking about that psilocybin, for instance, is impervious to solar radiation. Perfect for interstellar probes, especially on the organic level that deals with nervous systems of planets and inhabitants. That's what those things do. Just saying.
Wow. You never know where our conversations are going to go when Barry and I get together, y'all. Okay. And we have a fantastic chat going on tonight with a lot of wonderful comments. I love you guys, man. This is always so much fun, Barry, talking about this. I mean, we started off with devil monkeys and baboons. We got into devil monkeys to dogmen to baboons to ETs. Okay. To ETs. I mean, how fitting is that? Oh my God.
But there's connections there. And by the way, since we're touching on this, I'd heard you mention, I don't know, is it a couple of, I don't know, what you do so many shows. There's a show or two ago, but you were talking about a connection, something I had not heard, which were connections with UFOs and dogmen. All of a sudden, people are seeing dogmen coming out of UFOs now. When did that start?
They're seeing UFOs in the environment when there is a dogman encounter, just like with Sasquatch. Okay, so we have UFOs in the environment sometimes when we're having Bigfoot encounters in the field, and people report that, and that's what we were talking about. I talked about that on Friday night and last night, actually. I talked about it with Shane and Todd over on their channel, and then I talked about it with Carter Bouchard last night. And we were talking about he was talking about the Bigfoot encounters, people being abducted by ETs, and they're being Sasquatch being reported inside the UFOs or wherever they're being taken. And I made the point of talking about the Dogmen being cited, or the UFOs being cited with Dogman reports as well. So it's a weird occurrence, okay, but it happens.
I've heard several times reports of seeing beams of stasis beams, Sasquatch emerging, then grays behind them, and then being seen on craft. And also, when I did a show a while back with pork and beans, and beans, or maybe it was pork, was talking about.
It was Michael. Yeah, that's what we were talking about them.
Yeah, was talking about actually, and he's right. Like, especially like in Peru and in South America, they're having a lot of reports of smaller Sasquatch, almost Ewok size, being seen on board a lot of these craft. So I think that, when dealing with this, and it's even taking it further to, somebody I'm a fan of, Tom Powell, what he had said to me about with the gentleman he was with. Oh gosh, he's an animal whisperer, Rick something. Anyway, he had said that there was a tribe that had a family Sasquatch like near them, and that the alpha male, the alpha was like 10 foot plus. They wanted to get a look at him, and they also went down to sky to try to communicate with him. And the tribe had said, we're only seeing the mother and the daughter, the child. We've not seen the male. And this animal whisperer communicates with the woman, however he does it or goes. And the woman tells her, oh, well, my husband is gone. The green ones took him to go work, and he'll be back when he's done with his work. We don't like the green ones much because they put us to work. And so I look at Tom. I said, well, who are the green ones? And he said, well, David Paulides wouldn't say it publicly, but he says it's the reptilians. And that kind of took me back a little bit. And we start dealing with the type 1 civilization Sasquatch would go back to when there was an intergalactic trade route. And what beings would be even strong enough to possibly enslave a Sasquatch without technology? It might be one of those reptiles. And let alone have technology, interdimensional technology, that's going to make it a lot easier, which we know they have. So,
oh my gosh! Well,
let's just talk about guggies here or whatever.
Well, we've already run out of time, Barry. This hour flew by, so we're going to have to continue this conversation on a future show because we have completely run out of time tonight. And man, we've got more questions in the audience and everything. But you guys come back and hang out with us again next Sunday. I'm gonna have Barry back on my channel soon too. Well, actually, you're gonna be there on Thursday night, right, Barry?
Yeah.
Over at the Cryptid Hunters channel. So
that'll be interesting.
He's got me a good remote viewing target for Thursday night, y'all. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm sure it'll be awesome. So Barry, tell the audience where they can find you and about your YouTube channel and whatnot.
Excuse me, it's allergy season. I've been getting nailed. I'm on YouTube. A lot of stuff I do on YouTube. Barry Littleton. I'm also on Patreon under Barry Littleton. Don't know how much longer I'm gonna do Patreon. Might be coming to an end. But YouTube and Facebook are places to find me, and also Instagram. Thanks.
Yeah.
If you decide to subscribe and come over and subscribe, check out the playlist on YouTube. Most of the stuff is hidden on there, but you can see it on playlist.
Yeah. And Barry, you also offer services for like regressions and things like that too. And that's something that I've been talking about on my shows lately. So if you guys are interested in regression, can they just email you, Barry? Find you on your website?
At Barry Littleton 13, Barry Littleton 13 at gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. Awesome, Barry. Well, listen, I'm going to see you back over here on my channel in a couple of days. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. I love it when you come over here and hang out with me. So thanks for being here. Okay. Awesome, Barry. Have a good night. Okay, we'll see you later. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Oh my God, y'all. Wasn't that fantastic? This is another fantastic show. We never have enough time over here. But I hope you guys will come back and see me this week over on my channel, The Cryptid Huntress. I'll be back on Wednesday with a glitch in the matrix. And I have a really fun topic for us. So y'all please come over there and see me. But for now, y'all go over to After Hours with Mr. Rob G. and his guest tonight. And I promise you, it'll be a great time. But for now, I'm the Cryptid Huntress. I'm headed off the trails. I will see you guys back next week. Y'all have a wonderful night. And please stay safe out there. And I'll see you soon.